Okay, welcome to this ooh, dev build, but realistically, this is almost the, for lack of a better word, alpha release candidate of our Naturel 5. We've got everything sort of together to test things. This world is not pre-generated at all. I am just going to play along and talk through everything, as I usually love to do in these things. We'll try and survive, but it's less about how well I play and more about the whole fact that this will hopefully, I don't want to say bug-free, but this dev version is very, very, very close to the version that I will hopefully be releasing in the next few days. Everything is built, fixed a lot of things, and instead of focusing on too much, I might just go through and do the old story of how this mod pack came to be, and then chat a little bit about everything that we've done in our Naturel 5, with hopefully a release imminently once I get through all of the loopholes and jumps and get the source up on the internet and get through the CurseForge stuff. Oh, yeah. Alright, so yeah, this is our Naturel 5. An attempt at a natural world survival simulation in Minecraft. Been under about a year of director development, and as the story goes, I got back into Minecraft when my son got old enough to play, and I introduced it to him, and I hadn't played since the early days, but when I came back into Minecraft, I found it all very, I don't want to say boring per se, although I probably did find it a bit boring. I did find it very advanced. I had all these memories of survival, and didn't like and wasn't really approving of the changes that Microsoft had put into, I guess, the Bedrock edition of the game, and even just the balance things. You know, survival that I sort of remembered and knew had disappeared. So I was looking at all the mods and things that are available too, and I thought, my goodness, I could totally turn this into a, survival world. Look at all of the great things that have happened since I played back in the alpha days. That's an abnormal noise. Shaders, distant horizons. Oh! Shaders, distant horizons. All these mods, all these changes which have come out from the community. It's really awesome. Lets you do all sorts of funky things. Yeah, and I saw this envisioning. So, I think I started on 1.192, the version there. Quickly abandoned that for version 2, migration to 1.20.1. Switched over mods. I can't remember for the life of me what happened in version 3. But version 4 was the one that had just come out before, and it was looking pretty good, but look, I'll be frank, one of the things that pissed me off about that is just the bugs, the lag, the inconsistency. Couldn't really be played in, I don't want to say in my opinion, as in, you knew all the bugs, and you knew what you had to do, and you didn't get into any of the situations where those bugs were fatal that you could play. But in practice, or maybe it's just because I've been, I really need to go find some, in practice, maybe it's because I'm the tester and the developer, saw all sorts of bugs and things like that. Anyway, this pack's been under development for about a year, and I think I'm going to call it 3 to 6 months ago. I don't know if any of you have been living under a rock, but recently, a little thing called AI has taken off, and I'll be frank, I'm as skeptical of these things as anyone, and it's probably right to be skeptical, but the last couple of months, the technical viability of using these things as coding assistants, what they can do, what they can achieve, has really taken off. And that gave me these visions for what I might achieve. A Naturel, and it really opened the door to new possibilities. Before in our Naturel 4, it was very much a case of, well, look, there's some incompatibilities, but I'll never, ever be able to find the dev time to actually put these things together, fix them, do everything that needs to be done. You know, it's just too much for one person. But with the recent evolution of AI, I now have the resources, the chance to crack open these mods at a fundamental level where there were memory leaks and inconsistencies and conflicts and threading issues and all of that sort of stuff, optimizations. Where before, I just had to sort of sit back and say, well, this isn't my day job, I don't have time for this, I could never actually give it the time that it's due and actually manage to get any of this done. After my experiments with AI, began to change my tune, and it was so efficient. It was such a productivity lever for someone like me that suddenly I could have a go at shaders. As you will notice, and as I'll talk through, look, photon shaders. But not just any photon shaders, changed photon shaders. No, they're changed, but look, they're built off a photon. They are edited, they're customized for our Naturel, performance, coloring, all sorts of stuff. I'll probably not get into all of it, but looking great, performing great, beautiful skies, beautiful water, integrated well with distant horizons. Looking fantastic, if I might say so. I've only got 4 gravel, that's not really enough to do very much. Yeah, so AI really helped me, and so for the past 3 months or so, I've been going great guns, experimenting, doing what I can, building out our Naturel 5, saying to myself, right, let's do this, let's make it look good, let's make it performant. Again, you'll note, you can probably see in this video, keep in mind that I've got the video going while this is all playing. None of this is pre-generated, this is all cold start, brand new world, and we're in the jungle! And it's, if I might say so, whoa, performing pretty well, all things considered. What am I doing? Oh, that's right. Grab. Performing pretty well, if I might say so. Looking good, performing well. No pre-generation. Good frame rates. Is for my computer. Lush. Wonderful. Love it. Alright, so yeah, for the last 3 months I've been focusing on changing all of the underlying codes, changing mods where I can, finding performance problems, fixing them, just making the whole environment much more dynamic, for lack of a better word, much more performant. Yeah, that's where we are, and this is the relative. Is this even going to give me anything? No. Relative end of the road. I'll say end of the road. Still got to try and put together a server pack. Probably 1,000 bugs and things to figure out, but it's performing really well, and this is probably going to be the release candidate. Alright, so having not found much gravel, and this place is all very flush through here. Oh boy. Where was I? Alright. What are the changes that have been made from our Naturel through to our Naturel 5? Well, yes, swapped from complementary shaders to custom made photon shaders. Photon, again, in case you don't know, I am of the opinion that they have the best cloud and weather simulation from any of the Minecraft shaders that I've seen. So it's, oh, look at that, Jesus. What's some world gen for you? I mean, I'm gonna die soon and whatnot, but very impressive. The hell was I? That sort of left me speechless. Yep. Photon shaders. Gone through it, changed the weather system, changed the skies at night. I don't know if you can see any of that. Customized all sorts of things from Oculus. Customized all sorts of things from Photon. Added in various. Oh yeah, okay. Let's talk about how we did the. Yeah, I'm totally gonna die. Anyway. Edited Oculus did a bunch of stuff to try to bring in integration with seasons, bring in integration with the temperatures, try to keep it sort of, good gameplay. Is that? No, it's just thingy. Tried to keep it. That's just it too. Tried to keep it. It's really hard to talk and that looks gravelly to me. Yeah, integrated all of the other mods with Oculus, fed those values forward to the shaders, and let us do some pretty funky things. Let's go out and have a look at the night sky, see how the weather is. I mean, I'll probably die, but it's worth just talking about. Pretty cloudy, actually. Let's hope that we can get a clearer night. Alright, let's not talk about that. Seasonal shifts. So, moon has been replaced, stars have been replaced. Moon and sun now follow seasonal and latitude-based trajectories. We've got the lighting bug from the previous video. I believe we've got that fixed up. Also had to adjust the distant horizons integration so that the reflections off of the water would line up with the new seasonal variations in the paths of the sun and the moon. Moon's got lighting phases that adjusts to the world. Storms and seasons and latitude also affect the lighting of the world. Very subtle effects of some light underwater adjusts to the light levels above the water and things like that. Sort of minor stuff, but just lots of little tips and tricks. And performance. We hate with shaders where you run into lush jungles and suddenly your frame rate drops to like 0. Unacceptable, which I can say now because I think we've got it working relatively well. One of the big challenges in our Naturel was to find a sort of technical middle ground and happy solution whereby we could keep the shaders working performantly in water, in the ocean, in the jungle, in the open biomes, in the closed biomes, in the tight biomes, in the rain, in the storm, in the fine weather, underground. You don't want any of these situations where you're just playing your game and then suddenly, boom, performance tanks and you got to turn shaders off or figure something else out. That's generally not what you want when you're playing a survival game. So we've tried to find ways to optimize everything so that I won't say it doesn't happen, but it's your best bloody hope of playing with shaders and maintaining the distant horizons phenomenon as well. And if you're really desperate, you can, of course, play without distant horizons, play with shaders off. But honestly, I really do recommend the customized shaders that we've added. They've got lots of nice things. They've got varied weather, just like normal photon shaders. Yeah, just lots of effects, all added in there to try to make it more immersive, more realistic, and more generally fun. Frustrating too sometimes, but frustrating in a good way. Cool. What else do we have? look, I can talk about, you know, the various works. Got our own customized versions of Distant Horizons, fork off of one of the earlier versions there. Basically, the entire point of that was to work with, yeah, performance optimization. What am I doing? Oh, looking for stone. Working with performance optimization, integration with the shaders, of course. And then new abilities. What else did we do? Look, I mean, integration with Chunky, integration with C2ME. It's been a bunch of little Distant Horizon bugs, which I've never really been happy with, and Distant Horizon things that you're always told not to do, like don't run Chunky and Distant Horizons at the same time. Screw that. Let's run them at the same time. Oh, you might get holes. Why are we getting holes? You shouldn't get holes. Look, so, you know, test it out, see how it goes. I don't want holes. So hopefully I've done something about that and you won't get holes. That's what I hope anyway. And if not, wait! I have no idea if that guy saw me. Oh, so M. Orange. Napping spot. Yeah, so we've got our own internal version of Distant Horizons. A variety of optimizations, variety of fixes, variety of sort of fundamental changes there, which hopefully make it work pretty well. Yeah. What else? Oculus, mainly technical stuff. Added. Oh, we haven't changed the lightning stuff fully yet. But we've theoretically got the building blocks there to add some more lightning effects. Fixed some memory leaks. Fixed some other stuff, and of course feed forwarding the seasonal and temperature stuff through to the shaders so that you can do temperature and seasonal and latitude based things, because that's really cool if you can. Alright, what else? Oh, Tectonic. Yeah, minor stuff with Tectonic. I mean, honestly, Tectonic, C2ME, and other stuff there, all of which we've customized as well. I'm inclined to just say, look, we've been trying to get the world generation performant, and the whole, again, point of all of this is to try to make it so that you do not have to pre-generate the world, because pre-generating the world stops you from being able to just spontaneously play in survival, spontaneously play with others in survival. Sucks to have to wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 hours, 10 hours, a day, 2 days, to be able to play on a world. There were lots of reasons why we couldn't do that before, but I think for most modern computers, modern setups, we've finally gotten to the point where you can play and you don't have to pre-generate, and it all works pretty well. Yeah. So, you know, bunch of our... he wants me for lunch, or breakfast. Bunch of fixes in Tectonic, bunch of fixes in C2ME, bunch of hacks and things. Whoa! Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Oh god, I'm dead. Spider versus shark. I'll take shark. Okay. Where was I? Tectonic. Oh yeah, I mean, none of this would have been sort of possible without, you know, I've already talked about wouldn't be possible without AI, but honestly, wouldn't be possible without introspection and profiling and the like. And the problem with now I'm jumping all over the place. Problem is that we wanted to move to Java 25 for a variety of performance and modern technology reasons. But the thing is, Spark, the almost universal profiler that people use to sort of gauge performance and the likes of mods that let us actually get down, figure out what's causing what, wasn't available for Java 25. So what you could do, start things up under Java 17 or Java 21, run the profilers and hope that the performance you experienced under those systems would be the same performance and the same bottlenecks and the same causes that you would find under Java 25. But honestly, I found that all very irritating. So one of the first early things we did was port and update Spark for Forge 120.1. Make it so it runs properly, natively on Java 25. In case I haven't made it clear yet, our Naturel 5 is going to be targeting and assuming Java 25 runtime. That's the version that we're expecting everyone to use, and might I just say, it performs beautifully. We'll provide a list of sort of recommended settings for various systems and things like that, and recommended Java arguments. We'll still recommend, this one's running, I think it's 16 gig at the moment. Yeah, still recommend 16 gigabytes as your basic operational model, for lack of a better word. That's what we're expecting you to run with. Cool. 16 gig, but I think if you turn Distant Horizons off, we might be able to say hello to 8 gigabyte for our low resourced friends. As long as you've got a good CPU, because it's CPU that determines the sort of performance and ability to, well, play the game and run the general game in general, the world generation and everything else without lagging out or doing too much. So you do need a good CPU, but we might be able to get it working on 8 gigabytes for our low memory friends. As long as you've got a good modern desktop CPU. What else? Yeah, so we did Spark, got that upgraded, changed that. Yeah, changed some fixes and just some other generic mods. All the leaks, data anchor, other things on the back end. Where are we here? Oh, of course, NIF spiders probably still need some player testing. There's probably some bugs there because it's... There we go. Player testing, because that was one of the, you know, it's an awesome mod, but it's also one of the laggiest mods that I've ever played. So, edited that, released a version, tried to optimize things as much as we can. Yeah, we can do dynamic trees optimization there, C2ME optimization and porting special, well, it's not ported to Forge, but it has been our own sort of customized version. Yeah, also getting food and water from these. That's good. Tan's Huge Trees has to be talked about. I won't go into the technical details, but Tan's was one of these mods which I, you know, when I saw it, I said that's got to be in this pack. I can't imagine playing through without Tan's. But there's a problem, performance-wise, and not in vanilla personally. I think vanilla it's actually, you know, borderline okay, but highly modded Minecraft. Just not fast enough in world generation to be able to reliably play without pre-generation. So if you wanted it in the pack, had to pre-generate the world. And moving on to 5, started a long little personal project there to try to look through the entire code base from top to bottom. Asked Tan's permission to release it in the mod pack, and in case he gave his tentative yes. Of course, I'm happy to share all of the learnings that we've made in this journey so far with him. But we've subsequently got a highly, highly optimized version. It generates trees for regions so fast that basically I had to take the tree generating region indicator out because it was just distracting now as opposed to informative. We moved from like several seconds down to sub 1 second for an entire region of tree placement. And that lets you play everything in real time, basically transparently. See those big trees over on the horizon there? Yeah, 10 huge trees. What am I doing? I need to find some stone. Oh, speaking of. Alright. Yeah, so huge issue there with tens, but I think we got it figured out, and it's looking great. Where's my string? Cool. What else have we got? Let's talk about some of the changes. Oh yeah, the map, which you won't be able to see because there's no way in hell I'm going to collect enough resources to actually get a mini-map. So you can't view the mini-map. We've switched from Zero's world map over to FTB chunks. Why did we do that? Well, a couple of things with Zero's is one of them was that if you did pre-generate the world, the map would pre-fill and pre-generate too. Yeah, the map would pre-generate too, and that meant that, okay, you've pre-generated the world, but you want to explore, but what's the point of exploring when you can literally see every single part of the world that you've pre-generated? So, because of that, I wanted to find a mapping system where, you know, just because chunks had been generated in the world doesn't mean that they would turn up automatically on the map. I couldn't find a way to do that naively with Zeros. So we switched over to FTP chunks, which, yeah, has I mean, as far as I'm concerned, just adds into this feeling of exploration, starting off primitive, needing to advance into your sort of cartography things. And we've integrated it with via Romana. So the very item that lets you sort of fast travel and things there. Where's that crafting table? Oh, there's something to talk about too. The very thing that lets you do that, it's also the thing that lets you fast travel, also the thing that lets you view the map, but the map only reveals those areas that you've actually explored, not all of the chunks that have been generated. So yeah, it creates this nice incentive towards exploration and travel. Creates this really nice sort of fog of war effect. You don't know. You can generate 8,000 chunks out with Chunky or something on a session. Start playing, you don't know what's out there. You haven't got a clue. You've got to go out and explore, find things like that. Yeah. So that's been nice. Usually I destroy this because I wrote it, but updated the guidebook. Huge levels of documentation. Let me know if there's anything in there in the Discord on inaccuracies or things like that. Multiplayer, blah 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 blah. What else do we have? Light fire, big torches. Yeah. So there's lots more information on the mechanics of the game. Still many things undocumented in that sense that you'll have to either sort of discover through JEI or just experimentation with the mechanics and exploring the landscape and, you know, wondering, oh, how do I do that? What's that thing do? Oh, I'd really like to do that. All that sort of stuff. But guidebook, it's much more detailed, much more... Oh, Christ. Yeah. Christ again. Well, been an action-packed sequence of events. I've lost my crafting table and I've lost my furnace. What could possibly go wrong? Let's give ourselves another one. And I think... where was I? Yeah, FTP chunks. I don't recall if I've told people that structures are back. Now, structures have an interesting mechanic. They're still very sparse. You still have to explore the world to find them. But they are technically there, and made a little sort of bending of the rules from past our Naturel. This is a natural world, but structures and the spawners that can spawn within them are exceptions to the rules. You don't know what you're going to find in structures. You're not sure what's there. One thing I can tell you, not so much structures, more along the lines of villages. Let's just go to that. Oh, actually, let's go to that boat and let's find out let's see, check the temperature. Villages are filled with hostile units. Many structures are filled with hostiles now. So if you want the goody loots and things that are in them... Oh, and then let's go back and figure out about that tower, just because I think that looks cool. I don't know if that's a structure or just world generation or what, but I think it's cool. Oh, night time. Yeah, so yeah, new structures, hostiles in structures. Be careful, explore. It's still rare, but look, new moon texture. Look, procedurally generated stars. Look, light glow coming from where the moon should be, depending on the season and things like that. Let's see if we can get to this boat. Looks pretty abandoned. Awesome. I don't think there's anything here. Well, it's a boat. I mean, I got a lantern. That is something, and if I remember rightly, hey, there we go, light source. It's nice. Hey, shooting star. Part of the updated whatchamacallits. Shaders. Groovy. Yeah, those are random. You know, I've talked in one of my previous videos. These stars are procedurally generated. They've got atmospheric twinkling, red shift, blue shift, all that sort of stuff. I really want to go see that. Let's go see that even if I die. Hey. Red shift, blue shift, atmospheric twinkling. But they are distributed based upon what should we call it? Map of the Milky Way. A density map of the Milky Way. So while they are not literally Earth reliable, experimented with the actual astrological images and things like that. Couldn't stand the effect of sort of plastering a static image across the entire sky dome. Yeah, they're based upon the density of the Milky Way, so it looks vaguely, depending on the light. They are dynamically adjusted relative to the light that you experience from the moon. So when the moon is bright, the stars are less visible than when the moon is not so bright. Yeah, lots of lovely little things like that. I think that's just land. Interesting. Yeah, so we've got Fire Mana, FTB chunks, new respawn thing. So I had to author a mod myself because the old respawn mechanics sort of break a few assumptions under the underlying mechanics of Minecraft. So every single world seed has a perfectly equal probability, assuming equal distribution of the climate zones in our Naturel, of where you will start. And you will always start at that location, and that is your new spawn point. It's not always at 0, 0 now. It could be anywhere between 0 to minus or plus 8,000, which is the distance between the polar regions here in the Naturel world. Fascinating. So you can spawn in tropical areas, deserts, tundras, savannas, temperate environments. You can spawn in the Arctic, you can spawn in places that you have no business ever surviving in. And some of those worlds are going to be virtually impossible. Maybe not impossible, but for an inexperienced player, virtually impossible to survive in. So if you ever get discouraged, just start up a new seed, and that seed will always be connected with a particular climate, a particular location in the world. Of course, every world is procedurally generated. All of this is procedurally generated. But yeah, there is as many worlds as you can have seeds, as many starting positions as you can have seeds. Every world and starting position is tied to a seed. It's deterministic. So yeah, you pass it around, you'll always start in the same place. That has a variety of effects with sort of chunk generation and just sort of assumptions with the way that Minecraft works. Alright, so what else sort of stuff? Yeah, you might have noticed the whole fuzzy leaves and things like that. Spent a fair bit of time fixing up bugs with those. I think they look really good now. Quite performant too. What else is there? Hard to say. Hard to say. I think we've upgraded to a new create version. Upgraded a bunch of create mods to that too. Yeah, just generic stuff. Had to get rid of a few mods either because they weren't open source or weren't performant, or I can't contact the author, etc, etc. Yeah. So anyway, I think we're in a really good spot at the moment. Things are working pretty well. The mod is generally performant. Tigers, spiders and tigers. Generally performant. No pre-generation necessary. Playing on these sort of high-level shaders with, as far as I'm concerned, quite good performance even while recording this video. Yeah. Relatively happy with world gen. Even weird sort of shapes like this, I'm like, yeah, gives a bit of variety personally. Whee! Yeah, and as I mentioned in the previous version, previous video, see those bubbles? They don't block your view anymore because we edited them out of the shaders, but they still exist. See, they're behind you. Yeah. Alright, sounds like a... excellent. Weather. Oh yeah, did I mention weather integration? See, weather affects the lighting, affects the shade. Weather, is still varied by the, latitude that you find yourself in, because we've got the natural temperature mod and the world is split into actual areas. The weather systems can change and will change depending on where you are. I didn't realise it was so cold here. I think I was going to give like a lovely, let's see if we can just put it down, weather here. there's the sun over there. Shadows from them. Kind of wanted a nice clear day. Got a bit of fog going on. But still, you know, in terms of demonstrating the weather systems and things like that in this sort of tropical area here, not a bad deal. Hopefully as the sun reaches the middle of the day here, sky and colour will start to sweeten up, look a bit clearer. It's hard to tell. It's here in the tropics. Very humid, very stormy, very foggy, generally. I'm going to head over to that big tree, just because I can explore some of these biomes. See what it performs like. Let's make that tree our goal and then we'll log off. Yeah. So oh yeah, like a few little baby mods and things like that, like log mute, which we've just written just to make a attempt to manage the log. Now you might notice that, you know, when you've got 500 mods in your mod pack, there's a limit to how many errors and things you can really get out of your log. So log mute tries to sort of cancel it down. I've got a couple of ways to manage the horrific situation that is the log. With 500 mods, with all of them sort of like putting out warnings and debug messages and things like that, when nothing's actually wrong. It's just that whoever programmed them assumed that it would be a certain case or a certain state, and then they're reporting that things are missing when you were never going to play with them in the first place. You know, all that sort of stuff. So we use logmute to log that. Logs can still generate relative size, but don't worry, because we also have log, I don't know what the actual mod's called, but log organizer. It will delete your logs after 3 days or so. So you will only ever use up a certain amount of space, and hopefully it will. Flying fish are always cool. Yeah, now the sun's looking a bit nicer, and weather's looking a bit nicer too. Cool, let's get up to that tree just because we can. I've still got my lantern in my belt. Oh yeah, parkour, I don't know if you noticed. Well, it's not called parkour, again, I don't know what it's called, but you can wall jump and things like that. You might have seen me doing that to get up these sort of harder to... this is a horrible biome. Ooh. Hello, spider. Oh well, we made it. Don't know why we were coming here, but we decided we would. Alright, interesting world to try to talk about the development of this mod. Yeah, but hopefully, you know, I don't talk well, especially when I'm trying to survive in a simulated natural world. Coming out over the ocean. Yeah, looks pretty cool, I might say so. Fun trying to survive here. Fun exploring. God knows what's out there. Probably thousands of structures and weird things and God knows horrific creatures. All sorts of stuff like that. Really pretty open-ended gameplay. I reckon I can jump off. No. Hey, hello, Sharky. Cool, but yeah, performing really well. Very happy with how it looks. Very happy with how the shaders perform. Very happy with the dynamic weathering. Can't say more. So let's hope that we get through all of our sort of administrative checkboxes and I can release this within the next few days. Alrighty, signing off.